Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic. What's the one thing that you thought was easy but turned out to be extremely difficult when you actually attempted it? Finding a better job. Once I had a few years' experience in the field. I've been in the printing industry for 20 years. About 5 years ago, I finally got out of the press room and into the office doing estimating. I figured I would do that for a couple of years, then find something else in a different industry. Nope. Can't find anything making as much as I currently do. I'm trapped. I took this job thinking it would be temporary. That was in April 2000. Everything in this field got sent to India right around then, so there aren't a lot of options. I feel your pain. Oh, sure, I can write a novel. 90,000 words. Piece of piss. Yeah, writing a book is easy. Writing a good book that people actually want to read and where everything sort of flows in vaguely the direction you want. Way harder. Along the same lines, writing anything well is far more difficult than it has any right to be. It seems like it should be easy to get your choice of words, your phrasing, and your punctuation right on the first attempt, but then you start typing and make small mistakes that completely alter what you meant. After all, omitting a single comma can change a sentence from "come on, people" to "well, you get the idea. Let's eat grandma." Waking up early. Like just an hour earlier than my usual time, and I'm a fucking zombie. Natural night owl. Had to fight tooth and nail for years to be able to wake up at 5 every day for work and be capable. Got to do it every single day, long enough that your body resets its cycles to match. And it takes ages to adjust. Edit. Makes me feel good realizing this is a great accomplishment. My advice if you're trying to adjust is make sure at the start you're going to bed early enough to give yourself the 8 or so hours needed each night. It makes it easier to get well rested in time. Also, coffee. Edit 2. Rip my inbox, but now I know when everyone works. And here am I struggling to wake up at 9. I woke up at 5:45 a.m. last Wednesday and I'm still recovering. Do you have a GoFundMe we can contribute to? Drywall and general home repairs. I am riding a single room. Remodeling from plaster and lathe. My advice, always buy at least one extra of anything you need from the hardware store, and estimate an extra 2 to 3 hours of labor. Truth is, if you've never done a project before you need time to screw it up once, then go back and fix it. Before we bought a house I had no idea how much maintenance was involved. The thought of replacing our shower and tub was keeping me up at night. Said fuck it and have a contractor coming tomorrow. My suggestions. Tell them you will pay for materials separately when they bring you receipts. Contractors try and make more money using less hardware or skipping steps. This prevents that. Pay at most half up front and half once it's done. Shit contractors will get the job 90% done and then put your job on the back burner. Pay by the job, not the time. Get everything that needs to be done in writing, including finish steps. The amount of that was never in the agreement I have run into is unreal. Good luck. Playing drums. Or I should say playing drums well. Yup. It gets worse, too. As you become a more technically proficient drummer, you learn that rudiments and sick beats don't create songs. The truly great drummers can determine what a song needs, and they play within that space. Playing a simple rhythm on beat, playing complicated stuff with varying tempo. Painting. Professionals make it look incredibly easy, but it just becomes a sloppy mess when I try. Are we talking walls or art? Both tbh. I gave up on physical media. Digital painting is so much easier. Infinite undo, no mess, cheaper in the long run, and much easier to match colors. What did you do to get started? Taking care of my aging parents. They say that there is a time when you need to parent your parents, but I don't think that's a good analogy. I thought I would visit them more, make some doctor's appointment, hire house cleaners and aides when necessary, or maybe find a nice assisted living facility for them. No way, they didn't want any of that at all. It wasn't like parenting a child at all, more like needing to beg, plead, demand, or yell for them to allow me to do even minimal things that will keep their lives from totally falling apart and taking mine with it. And that still didn't work, writing you here from the broken life I saw coming a mile away. Not everyone's elderly parents are like this, and mine were the most relaxed, empathic, organized people I ever knew growing up. Old age made them difficult and irrational, and they just weren't able to see things logically or from my perspective anymore, so deep were they in the anxiety, fear, and stress of just dealing with their life. I'll never forget the week my grandfather's, much younger, wife left him with us so she could go on holiday without him. He was an irrational shell of a human being and had somehow got this idea that she was never coming back, probably because she would not answer any of his calls or ours for that matter. He was also not allowed to drink anymore as recommended by his doctors, but he constantly plagued my dad to bring him for a pint every night despite us reminding him of this every time it came up. In the end it was easier to give in and my dad to go up and get the drinks in the hope he could sneak a non-alcoholic beer into a pint glass for him. I can barely comprehend how much age can change people, and how removing a codependent partner from a person's life can send them into a kind of breakdown when they are already vulnerable because of their age/health. To be honest, I try to block the thought of this happening to my own parents from my mind. It's too terrible to think about. This is terrifying to me, especially looking at Grandma who is completely gone mentally and can't be reasoned with. Whistling. I am 23 years old and still haven't figured it out. I learned it way at a younger age but then I forgot at one point and now I again relearned it. I can't whistle the traditional way. There's a slight gap in my teeth where I whistle through. It sounds different. Don't worry, Peppa Pig and Susie Sheep can't do it either. Goddammit Susie. https://jil0wch_uoq. Literally the best Peppa Pig scene ever. So savage. Not giving a shit. I kept sort of giving a shit. I'm very laid back. I only care about two things. Everyone on earth and their opinion of me. The crushing psychological weight of being alive. Edit, source because I feel bad about getting this much attention over something I can't claim credit for. Edit 2, I just wanted to bring attention to a video that has a similar vibe and that I really like. Quitting sugar. It's literally in everything. At this point I've just settled for no more junk food because that's so much easier to tell. I've recently had to quit any processed or added sugar. I have a big sweet tooth and I just had a physical where my doctor told me my shit's all fucked up because of all the sugar I eat. More specifically she was concerned about my blood glucose levels, my liver function, and my LDL levels. She told me no sugar or white flour for 3 months. She also has me taking vitamin D, fish oil, and CoQ10 pills. I went back for a checkup after a month and my doctor said she could already see that it's working. With exercise, I dropped a ton of weight, I'm a lot less puffy, and my skin is glowing, her words. We're gonna do blood work again in 2 months, read, after the 3-month period, to see if it translates to all the shit mentioned above. When your life is on the line, not necessarily in the immediate future, it's very easy, at least for me, to quit something lol. Edit, sorry, I just realized that I made it seem like quitting sugar has been easy for me. The decision to quit was easy, but it is definitely very hard to beat the craving. Singing. Not professional or even in front of people but just singing along to a song. I was just cleaning the house one day and had YouTube playing music vids. Sweet Child O' Mine came up with lyrics. I've sung this song hundreds of times but I stopped and was reading the lyrics as I sang and, holy hell, I freaking suck. I know the words but I was listening to myself sing them. Off key, out of tune, bad phrasing, you name it, I did it bad. Took me 53 years to realize this. I sing all the time, have performed more times than I can remember, and have had plenty of people tell me I have a great voice yet I often go flat, mess up phrasing, or miss the timing when at home trying to sing along to songs. My point, singing is hard. You have to practice it a lot to be consistently good at it. And some days your vocal cords don't want to work with you no matter how hard you try. You have to practice it a lot to be consistently good at it. And some days your vocal cords don't want to work with you no matter how hard you try. This is insanely important. I can't tell how many people have told me I was talented despite me telling them I've been singing daily for 20 years. It's even worse when allergies get in the way or I just woke up or I didn't properly warm up and people roll their eyes when I say I'm a singer. I've had friends tell me that they wish they could sing like me and I tell them every time, you can. Just sing for an hour every day and in around a year, you'll hear a slight improvement. They also doubt the importance of learning to yell because it sounds crazy, but it's essential for learning to sing with your diaphragm and sustaining a note. One thing that's also crucial that people don't seem to understand is that you can't sing for too long and need a very thorough warm-up. Vocal cords are a muscle after all. Most professional singers, like opera singers, can't go over 4 hours because it'll destroy their voice. Wonder why Axl Rose can't sing like he used to? He spent decades yelling for hours while straining his voice. Super bad for your voice. It's actually surprising he can still audibly talk with all those cigarettes and yelling. I busk by singing a cappella, and I myself can't go over 3 hours with a bottle of water, barely an hour without. I manage to make around $15 an hour, which is good money, but it's far from a livable wage considering I can't do more than 3 hours every day, and even then, I might end up pushing myself and spraying forward/rip my vocal cords, which feels exactly like a sore throat but more painful and with blood if they're ripped. That's a week off from even talking. People are quick to judge singers who lip sync or cancel shows over colds, but as a singer, I completely get it. I don't condone lip syncing, but I get the reasoning. The slightest of alterations can make hitting otherwise hard notes impossible, and it's beyond frustrating for a singer who knows they can normally hit those, especially if you have to put on a show.